And there you go.
Yay. All right, now you can go, Mike.
All right. Yep. Welcome everybody to the
Hey,
Bizop
Mike.
Done Right meeting. So yeah, this is just want to introduce you to Jason Miller. He's a good friend, CEO, has been in the business world for 20 plus years. Just going to talk to you guys about branding yourselves and trying to do this right, turn this into a real business. So with that said, take it away.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, some of you might know me from way back in like December or November or December of last year. We were looking for white label partner coaches, and we had a couple of these same things. I recognize some of the names on here. Anyway, so some of you might actually remember me. If not, that's okay too. But why are we here today? Let me talk a little bit today about why we're here, okay? Now, there's a bit of a backstory here. And for those of you that may remember me from the last one, is I'm not going to spend a lot of time BSing around and talking about myself and all this stuff, okay? So we're going to get right to the point here. And I really want to focus on you. This isn't about me, it's about all of you. So why are we here and how did we end up here? Well, we ended up here in a very few short days, actually. Mike and I have known each other for quite a few years, and from time to time, he runs promotions for me in my company. I run an executive C-suite mentorship company, so it's not necessarily your business, but in total, I have 6 different companies that I operate, and I've been in business for a lot of years. And I had the opportunity last week to, through one of our promotions, several people applied through our executive mentorship. And Richard is his name. I really hope he's on here tonight because I would love for him to speak about our conversation we had last week, if possible. But he's just one, and he sent in his application form to our company, and it was very detailed and all this stuff. And I quickly realized that, everybody that sent in an application, they're completely going about business wrong in the affiliate world, business world, whatever it is. Okay. So, and, so that's kind of the backstory behind that. And I gave him a lot of really harsh realities because these gurus stand on these platforms, ladies and gentlemen, and they freaking lie to you. They do. They lie to you. They lie to you to get your money and suck you into their high ticket programs and all this stuff. Personally, it's not my thing. I've ran regular normal businesses all my life. I used to do affiliate marketing years ago, and we cracked that code, and that's part of the reason why we're on this call. Now, have things changed? Maybe, I doubt it. But the key that a couple of really key points that I want you to take away from all this is that number one, you're either in a business or you're in a hobby, period. Okay. Somebody I talked to last week said, well, I've spent $14,000 or $15,000 in the last 4 years or 5 years in affiliate marketing, and I've made nothing back. Aggregate that divided by 5. No wonder. Sorry to give you or come off as maybe that's harsh, but real business owners will spend that every week. Okay. So you either commit to something and you do that something, or it's a hobby and you piddle with it, you're never going to succeed. That's the point. Because, you know, hobby businesses like these very, very rarely work out. It's less than 3%. So what makes you think as you are driving traffic or whatever into these affiliate offers that you're going to succeed? You're not. There's only one way to do it. And there's only one way to really succeed. And that's what I want to share with you today. And that's why we're here. And we're very not prepared for this. I will just be very we didn't prepare for this at all. I mean, very little. Mike said, me and Mike talked about this, and I said, Mike, you know, let me get some of my folks together that run tech in my company, and you know, our branding person in our company, and let's see if we can't help your folks do it right. Because, and I'm not saying some of you maybe aren't doing it right, but I'm just telling you right now, the ones that I saw are not. Okay, not even close. So um, again, so who am I? You know, short version. I've been in business for a lot of years, and I'm sure there's some of you on here that run normal businesses on the side too. Um, but we either treat business like business, or it's not really a business. So there's some decision points that one has to make along the way in business to actually be successful, and stop getting sucked into the bullshit, because that's what most of it is. Most of it is. I'm a real business owner, and real business owners do real business things. Okay. And that's what I really want to get this audience thinking about, because I was really, um, it really irritated me after that conversation I had last week with some of you. Some of you might be on the call. And it really did irritate me that, you know, you guys have been led down the wrong path. And you need to run down the path of a real business owner, not a opportunity owner, where you're chasing squirrels every other day and looking for the best next thing. Some of you might hate me for saying that, but if it impacts you at the end of the day, well, that makes me sleep better at night for sure. So anyway, so why are you doing it wrong? It's pretty simple. A lot of you are in affiliate marketing and you are driving traffic to affiliate offers, and that's never going to work. It just won't work. You'll see scattered success here and there, but you'll never find true success or have true ROI. Okay. And the only way you're going to do that is really if you take what you're doing and you brand yourself first. Okay. Brand yourself. People buy people. They don't buy products. Not in this world. They don't. You know, we are, I'm not going to say the leap to say we're similar, but my companies are mentorship companies. So we work with people, right? So it's similar in that way. And the only way it really works is to build a relationship, be self-branded, and then you take that person into whatever affiliate offer you have. Now, if you're selling, it doesn't matter what you're selling. If you're selling, you know, t-shirts or, you know, whatever, it makes no difference. People tend to buy the people aspect of things, not as much the, you know, the brand. Not in all cases, but it just depends on what it is. In the affiliate marketing world, it is 100% about building trust. 3 things: know, like, trust. Some of you have probably heard that before, right? And it's no different in any of my companies. We have to get people to know us, like us, and trust us. That's just the bottom line. You need everybody. Um, and if we do that, then we can truly build relationships. And that's when people want to take part in the things that we're doing. Okay. It's very important that we do all that. So, there again, what qualifies me to chime into this specific area? Because I'm no different than all of you. I just took a different path. That's all. And, it's really, really important that as business owners, you build that community effort, right? That's the world we're in today. And you build your community, you build your tribe, you build your herd, and you do that through your own brand. And then you take people where you want them to go. It really is that simple. Back years and years ago in a whole nother life, when I used to promote affiliate products myself, and I'm not going to throw numbers around, but we sold a lot of affiliate products, tons of them. Not necessarily in the Bizop niche, but other stuff. And the one thing that constantly rang true was people connected with us as a brand. That's what connected true. Why do you think all of these brand ambassadors for all these big makeup companies and all of this stuff, they're very branded to themselves, and that's how they bring the audience in. Is that?
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to you too. That sounds good.
And that has to be the how you market and how you really connect with an audience through a good branded website, email follow-up. What's the touches, Joel? 23 now ish?
It's up to about between 18 and 27.
18 and 27 times you have to touch somebody to make them a customer. It's a lot. Just a few short years ago, it was 7 to 10.
Yeah.
So it's just not that way anymore. So you have to really get involved with your audience and, connect with them in a bigger way and not just, here, go buy my stuff, right? That never works. It doesn't work. So you've got to be able to connect with your audience. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we threw this together pretty quick. So none of this is really rehearsed or scripted or no slides or nothing like that. But what I did do from my company is, or I should say our company, I have two of my teammates on this call. Joel is my tech director and Shelby is my branding expert. And, we're going to talk to you about how they can help you, really help you do what you need to do to bring you to some success. Okay. And I think we've put something together for you that will really allow you. That's funny. Somebody said this is a new format. It's the Jason Miller format. I really don't have time in my life to go through a bunch of hoopla. So pretty straightforward and to the point. So anyway, the whole point we're here is because Mike said, can you help us? Because we want Mike's traffic to feed your offers to be able to make you successful. But right now you're doing it wrong. Most of you, well, at least the audience that I talk to is doing it wrong. So we want to come in here and try to help you do it right. And that's why Mike asked us here to do this for you. Okay. So, what's the solution? The solutions are very simplistic. Okay. Branding a site to you and allowing you to connect deeper with your audience, okay? Which most people are not doing in this space. They're driving traffic straight to some affiliate marketing website, and tons of that traffic is probably being lost in leakage. If you're not familiar with what affiliate leakage is, it happens all the time. So you have to create a way around that, okay? And the way to create yourself around that is to brand around your own brand and copy those pages onto your own and only use an order button from a company. That's it. That's how you're going to connect. So they think they're buying you, not somebody else. And then you move them into a community and you treat them like a customer, not like an affiliate buyer. You treat them like a customer so they will keep coming back over and over and over again. Okay. This is real business, folks. So I'm going to introduce my teammates. Joel, he runs all of our tech for our company. He's been a CEO himself for 30 plus years. Huge background in technology. And Shelby Jo Long is on as well. And she is our director of, well, she's my senior vice president in my company, but she handles all the branding aspects of things. And she's an absolute genius when it comes to helping brand companies, because that's what she does. So I'm going to turn this over to Joel and Shelby to introduce themselves, and then we'll move forward from there.
All right, Shelby, you want to go first? You want me to?
You go first.
Okay, perfect. So hello, everyone. My name's Joel. So what Jason said is 100% accurate, because what happens, especially in today's day and age, there's so much noise out there that for you to go out and just offer a product is probably going to be about as effective as going out and trying to fly a kite in a hurricane. So because there's so much going on that people just don't listen as much anymore. And the challenge being that you're trying to get heard in a very noisy world. What you need to do, and what, if you think about it, what everybody does is they buy around a community, they buy around a person nowadays, because there is so much noise. They want to buy, they want to know who they're buying from. They want to know everything there is to know about you. They want to buy from you because they like you. They understand your story. And if you don't have a story, then you're missing out on this great big piece that that's out there. And one thing too is affiliate marketing, and I've been associated with affiliate marketing for some time now. So the one thing about it is that it can't be single dimensional. It has to be multi-dimensional, where you're building the community around you. If you look at all of the successful people in the space, they have this community of people that follow them because they know them, they understand them, they follow their story, they follow the fact that they're successful. So what we propose is we give you guys a system to make you successful, not the products you sell. The products you sell can be any product. You can do multiple products. You can do any combination. There's no reason to limit yourself, because what you do instead of selling that single product is you start selling yourself. And that's what we propose. I've been doing technology for a long time. And so another thing that's fighting people out there is you've got Google on one side, you've got Apple on the other side. You've got GDPR, which is a privacy policy over in Europe. You've got CCPA, which is the flagship privacy policy in the United States. These things are all pushing to where it's not as easy to just do a Facebook ad anymore, because on Apple, they no longer allow pixels unless it's by choice. The user has to opt in to accept pixels, which nobody does. So you can't retarget to that audience. So your cost of advertising goes way up. It makes it not worth it to advertise on those paid channels. You've got Google that's about to follow suit, And Google is making it tougher and tougher in the search engine world to get your ads run. In fact, this September of this year, they're starting and I don't want to get too far off in the weeds, so I apologize, but they're starting their 3-strike program where if you advertise and get banned on Google 3 times, your company's done. It's a permanent ban. So that policy starts in September. So what you need to do is start now getting ahead of the curve and building your community, because people buy from people they know and they trust. They buy from people they understand and who have a compelling story. And that's where personal branding comes in, because this compelling story needs to be crafted. It's not something, oh, here's my story. A few people luck into a story that just resonates with their market, but it's an art and a skill. And this is the part where, I'll be happy to answer questions at the end, but this is the part where I turn it over to Shelby, because that's what she's in charge of. So.
Thanks, Joel. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us. It's nice to see everybody, or at least see everybody's name. So thank you for having us. Everything that Joel says is right about the flooded market, about there's so much noise out there. It's hard to differentiate ourselves as business owners, particularly when we're selling something. And in addition to that, everybody's online because they need to find a market somewhere. And this is pandemic, but I think the pandemic kind of sped up where we are now. And it just becomes even more important that we as business owners, whatever it is we're selling, that we think about how to differentiate ourselves in the market and how we make ourselves stand out on an online marketplace, and how we build our own business around ourselves and our story. Because fundamentally, let me tell you a story. I went down to my local coffee shop this morning. Much like everyone here probably goes to their local coffee shop. Maybe they have their favorite coffee shop to go to, whether it's a Starbucks or a local coffee shop, whatever that is. But we go to the same coffee shops every day, or not every day. Frequently, I spend way too much money at my local coffee shop because it's good coffee, but I go there because of the personality of the place. It's like Cheers when you walk in. Everybody says hi. They know your drinks. They're people that you want to be around. There's a personality, there's a charisma, there's a dynamism that draws you in to that coffee shop. Same thing with the local restaurants you go eat at, that we tend to go and gravitate to the same places because we like how it feels. We like the emotion that we feel when we go there, and we like the quality of it too. That's all branding. And it might not be intentional branding, but that's the brand of the place, because you create that emotional connection with your audience. And that has everything to do, and when you think about putting your own business together and really putting some power behind what it is you sell, the connection and the emotional connection that you make with the audience is not with what you sell, is with the trust that you build with the audience and the things that you tell about yourself. Because your story and your brand story are what create that emotional connection with the audience. People buy brands, they don't buy services or products, and that's really key. My background, just to give you an idea of how I approach things, I'm CEO of my own business. I help coaches develop high ticket programs to be able to leverage their expertise into a higher offer. But the key with that, and then of course work in the strategic advisor board too, but my background is entirely in academia and in language and communication studies. And there is an art in putting together your message, and there's an art in delivering that message to the community that it's going to resonate with. There's an art and a process to putting that all together. And that's what we've created for you, is a pathway to be able to articulate your own story and understand your own emotional connection to your audience, and then put it on a platform where it's going to succeed. And you can build that community. You can put that automation pieces in, and you can begin to create the community of people that are going to want to buy from you and that are going to want to be in your audience. So there's an art in the messaging, there's an art in how you present yourself to an audience, and putting that in a package is going to help you be more successful and give you that leg up that Jason was talking about in the beginning, that of how you may need 21 times, but you'll be much more memorable if the person remembers you and your story rather than you just selling the product. So that's kind of what I have to say.
You're on mute, Jason.
Sorry, I don't feel good and I'm a little sick today, so I'm muting myself out, and I never do that. So I just start talking and because I'm coughing in the background. But anyway, yeah, so really what we did is we put a couple things together for you guys that are really as cost effective as possible for all of you. To be able to do this, and maybe just in phases or all together, just depends on your budget, stuff like that. But I'm going to have Joel go ahead and share those with you. And we're going to keep this short today, folks. We're not just going to keep talking about the same thing over and over again. We're here to help. And if this is something you want to do, we're here to support you and help you do it, period. There's no other conversation to have. So Joel, do you want to show them what we have? Now I think you're on mute.
All right. So do you want me to share screen, or you want me to just put it up in the chat?
Yeah, you can share screen and walk through if you want. It's up to you.
Yeah. So let's do that then. So basically what we put together is we've got 3 different packages that we are offering, and one is the branding beginner. This one is where it's you get basically this doesn't show the packages as much. Let me actually go to the package descriptions, and that way you can understand it. And then we'll come back here and I'll put this link in the chat channel. So here it is right here. So the brand yourself is a basic site. You bring the content, the domain, but the point being with this is now it's yours. It's not an affiliate site. This is a place where you can start to house your own affiliate traffic, and we start to build your brand from this. And it depends on like Jason said, where your budget is and where you want to start. But this site is where you can start building your traffic that you get to keep. It's not anybody else's traffic. It becomes your traffic. And this is where you start to build your brand. Now, one thing that I started to go into a little bit earlier, and I don't want to confuse the issue, but the Google is starting to penalize for slow sites. So you have to be careful what platform you build anything on. We use a super high performance site that loads within 3 seconds on mobile. So that is what Google's new mobile first initiative is, making sure that everybody does. They're basically declaring war on WordPress. But that said, this is on a state-of-the-art site that you can work on yourself in the background. If you want to do stuff to your site, you can do that, or we can do it for you. Now, the first level is a starting point. It's just where you get started. The second one is and like Jason said, we put this all together very quickly. So I'm in the process of finishing out a page where you can go and get more description. But for now, this just has the description of each package. The second one is Brand Yourself Plus, and that's a little bit bigger site. But here's kind of the key on this second one, and why it's a little bit better to go, if you can go with that package, because it starts with the branding story. It starts building that branding story around you, and it starts building out who you are. Because once we have who you are digitally, then we can start to build, and then you can start to promote who you are digitally, so that your offer becomes not just about a product, but it becomes about you. And that's really where we need to shift this focus, is to not make it about what you're selling, but about who you are. So that includes security. That's also on the super fast platform. No affiliate link. It's your domain. You own the domain. You own the site. The last one, this is one where this is more of a done with you site package. The last one is more of a, we do everything for you. So we give you a 5 to 7 page custom site based on a template. We give you premium pro branding. And what that means is we work with you and we help you develop your story. We get it up there. We get it digitally formatted to where it's about selling you. Then we add premium content for you. We perform on-page SEO for you so that Google will start organically picking up your site. All of the setup is included. It's all your domain, includes the SSL. It's just a complete done for you package. So those are the 3 packages we're offering. And with this latter one, we can even add on e-com packages if you want to build out your affiliate brand into an e-com store. So that has a lot more flexibility, and we include the revisions you need to make sure that you're happy. That said, what I'm going to do is share the link in the chat channel, and then we can cover, if there's any questions that we have, we can cover those as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Joel. And
Sure.
I want to share something with this audience too. When it comes to, you know, what we're providing here for you, some of you know what some of these big funnel builders charge, right? For, you know, say a successful sales funnel, right? You know, they're charging $10,000-$15,000, and all they're doing is copying and pasting it from one to another to another to another. And it's actually quite sickening. What we're offering you here is something that's actually yours. It's yours, you own it. And you know, it's not like there's, you know, nobody's going to get rich off of this, that's for sure. So Mike came to me, and after our conversation was like, can we do something that is fitting for my folks, that can support them to become successful with my traffic? And I immediately went to Joel and Shelby, and we put the most, I would say a lot of punch for a very little amount of dollar. So anyway, I mean, that's all we have. I want to open this up to questions, and just ask questions, because we're done. 35 minutes, we're done. Yes. Questions?
And if you're asking a question, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, right. No questions. Okay. Going once, going twice, sold. Okay. Well, hey, I hope at least this brought a little light to a bit of a dark world. Michael Akers, you want to say something?
Oh, hello.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, how you doing? I just kind of like the ideal of branding yourself and that. I didn't really know exactly what my question was, but I just wanted to be able to get some even more specifics about introducing yourself to, or what your ideals are so far as making people like you and not the product, or is that applied to like your organization as well, and you know, even doing other types of marketing like phone marketing where people meet you personally and then like you said, treating them as a customer?
Go ahead, Shelby.
Yeah, I'll take that one. It's key. There's this great book. It's called Story Selling, and I can't remember the author's name, but it's this really interesting idea about how it's all about selling with your story, but it's not. But when you tell your story and you make that connection with either the people that you're trying to sell your product to, or you make that connection just within your organization, it just opens things up to build that trusting relationship. And you know, when I talk about there's an art to crafting a story, it's not that you tell your audience your life story, but you've got to craft your story around what it is you're trying to do and what problem you're trying to solve for the audience. Because that's, people are going to buy solutions. They want their problems to be solved. And if you talk to an audience about how you solve their problem and you show them that you can do that and they trust you, they'll go with you every time, right? That's kind of the key to it. And I think that's true. And I mean, the story does a few things, right? And thinking about your story and how that fits into your brand, it does a few things for your client or your potential client. You start to build that trust. You tell about yourself. You're vulnerable, and you've connected what you do to what you're selling and the product or service that you're selling. And you show that connection. And then the whole idea is to bring people into that conversation. And so it's a flow of communication. It's not just, it's a transaction. It's not just a one-way communication, right? Because that's so many salespeople,
Right.
You know, so that's it kind of opens the door for sales, but then it's really important in leadership too, to be transparent. And I think it kind of matriculates across a lot of areas of business. So does that answer your question?
No, I was just going to say, because that really is, it's really drawing a picture, and it's bringing a lot into play. And a lot of the things that you were saying were like almost coming out of my mouth as you were saying. The thing is that it takes, like Google and them. I mean, is your strategy then? I mean, it's to sell yourself, but so far as the traffic, like you were saying, bringing the traffic the traffic comes to an offer versus coming to you and then you taking them in and treating them as a customer. So does that mean that I'm reaching out to the people and introducing myself and trying to find and targeting certain people, or how is that the way it's supposed to work versus, you know, traffic coming to a product and then, you know, just how it's, you know, how it's been going. Like you're saying, is where people are failing, is that they're doing it wrong. They're sending the traffic to a product that's not what you want to do.
I can talk about that from the non-technical traffic point, if that's okay. But I mean, I talk about telling your story, and that's the one-sided piece. But part of telling your story is also also understanding who you're speaking to, right? And understanding the needs of the audience you're speaking to, and understanding the personality of the audience you're speaking to, and psychologically where they are, what problem they want solved. So you do a lot of that, and that's a big part of the branding process that I help you walk through, and is articulating your story after you discover your audience and the needs of your audience. And then, because you're not out there to sell to everybody, where you're going to start is organically in your sphere and communicating with the people that you know and reaching out and trying to figure out the messages that work before you dump a bunch of money into your marketing. I mean, that's
right. That's what I was getting at. So we want to go out. We want to discover the people and touch on, figure out what works for them, touch on the hot points, and basically not try to find the easy way to reach out to the people versus trying to funnel in a bunch of traffic and into a product. I mean, I can, more than I can say it, I can really feel what you're saying there. It sounds like what you were saying, some of the people that you know, or people that are in certain areas that, you know, there's a certain people, because like right now I have a target that I want to go to. So a lot of what you're saying really sounds, I mean, it sounds terrific. It sounds great, because those are people that I can relate with, that I can make a compelling story. The story that I feel comfortable with, so I don't have to do a lot of work trying to put together something I can just be myself with it. So that was my question, just to get the strategy to know whether, okay, well, am I going to be going out? Is this are they going to be drawn to a site that tells the story? Like, for example, a lot of times you'll get a letter, a letter that tells the story about you, and then introduces you, and then you go from there. Or they come to a landing page and it might tell a story. Some people, I guess in some sites it might be about us, the about us page, but they could click all over the site and they never even see that. So that was kind of my question as far as that part, so far as that was concerned.
As far as driving traffic to your site's concerned, I mean, that's a recommendation I've made to multiple people, is like, you got to tell your story, and telling it in text is fine, but people want to see you, they want to hear you, they want to feel the emotion. That's what they want. So
yeah,
that connection. And that's again, there's an art to it, and directing it toward an audience, because that has everything to do with who you are and who you speak to. There's got to be that match and that intent to match, because you will understand more about what your audience wants and needs because you connect with them already. So you do a lot of that before you even test the idea. So.
And Shelby, if I can add to that, there's actually a question in the chat that's pretty, it's along these same lines, because I was wondering if you're suggesting to tell your story on the website, a platform like Facebook groups, or any platform of your choice. The one thing about the story, it's got to be directed around, like Shelby said, it's got to be directed around solving a problem, and it's got to be directed towards the space that you're in. It's not just telling your story for the fact of telling your story. It's got to have relevance to what you're trying to do. And that's the difference between somebody just going out and telling a story versus somebody professionally crafting that story that becomes a compelling reason. And that's the difference nowadays, is there's got to be a reason for somebody to take a certain action. And that's what a professional branding person does, is they compel people to take action based on your personal story and how that story relates to what you're trying to accomplish online. So I just wanted to make that clarification and address that comment.
Yeah, so I would say that.
Yep.
Yeah, the why behind it, I'm just looking at the chat. The why behind why you do your business. You're doing it to make money, but you're doing it for other reasons too. And people are attracted to those reasons. So that's which has everything to do with your story, and it's the message to market connection. So
I want to share something real quick before we kind of wrap up. And a really smart woman I know really well said, she runs a project management company, and she told me, when passion and purpose collide, you are your most powerful self. And that person is my wife. And she's ran a PM company for years, and her focus is always about the people, not about the service. It's about the people. And she brands herself as being that expert, as being that person that's there to help, and her story ties into that. She talks about her story and how in 2008 the market crashed, and all of these things, right? All that storyline is built into that company, and that's why she's able to connect really well with her audience. So, anyway, just a little personal note there.
So any other questions before we take off?
No? All right. Well, hey,
they have our contact information and all that. Should we put that in the chat? Or
Mike will send out all the information again, and the replay if anybody wants to, along with the order form to get started. We hope to obviously work with a few of you at least, because once it catches fire with a few of you, everybody else will want to start doing it right too. So so that's kind of our goal. Our goal is to help this group be able to plug in and actually be successful with what you're doing, not just continue to throw throw money onto something that most of us already know that is not going to work. So anyway.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does one go about getting started other than paying $1,000 to $5,000 to hire somebody to brand them? Where do you go? How do you get started with that just to get motion? And why would anybody buy a bulk mailing service to brand yourself?
Who's buying a bulk mailing service?
Well, that's why all of us are here. We buy products from Michael.
Sure, right? But now you can start to get yourself into more targeted audiences now, right? Based off of, instead of this big, huge, broad market now, right? Which there again, that's what most people are doing. They're going on this broad, right? So now you can narrow that down a little bit.
So how specifically can we make a request for the people we want to mail to that are our avatar, the people that we think are like us and would want to see what we have to say or see what we have to sell?
Right. Well, that's a good question for Mike. He'd be the most qualified to answer that question.
Okay.
I'm not qualified to answer that question, but yes, obviously in any market you can narrow it down, right? I mean, there's definitely, every market is able to be niched down no matter what, because there are people, right, that are looking for a specific thing, right? Every day we go out and buy stuff, right? So we're all looking for specific things. And whether that's online, we're being targeted, whatever the case, somebody's targeting us, right? So that can all be done through advertising. So, but there again, that I'm not the expert in that field per se, and Mike can certainly, yeah, he just said feel free to reach out to him after this for specific questions regarding.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Advertising stuff. So he can get you in the right direction there. We're not here to do that for you. We're just here to get you in the right direction to start with. So anyway, any other questions? All right.
All right.
Darn it, I wanted to wrap this up in 30 minutes. We ended up going 50. All good. All good. And I just didn't want everybody to have the same, kind of BS experience on webinars that are floating around out there. So I hope it was informative, and I hope you learned some ugly truth today. And yeah, have a great evening, a great weekend, and hopefully we'll see some of you on the other side of this, helping you get started. So that's all we have, Mike.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
You want to kill the recording?
Yep.